This is the Seven Figure Standard Podcast, hosted by Arash Vossoughi and Mikey Stiller, with mindset and strategies to help you break through and create personal freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Seven Figure Standard Podcast. I'm Mikey Stiller, joined with my co-host, Arash Vossoughi. Arash, how are you?
I'm great, Mikey. How are you?
I am great as well. So we mentioned on the last episode that today we would be getting into your morning and evening routine. And something that you love is processes. You like to create processes for everything. We've all heard how important it is to have a morning routine, certainly. A lot of us have also heard that it's important to have an evening routine. So why don't we start there? Why is it so important to have these routines?
Well, let's go to processes first.
Okay.
Why processes are so important. Processes is what creates mastery.
Mm-hmm.
See, a lot of people are letting the outside control the inside. When you become process driven, every day is not always going to be the best day. But when you follow the processes over a week, over a month, the consistency of sticking to the processes and thinking in a certain way, which comes to the morning routine, because the morning routine is going to upgrade your thinking significantly. It's going to create so much momentum through the rest of your day, through the rest of your weeks, if you're consistent with them. And it's going to create a game changer. I always say how you own your morning is how you own your day. And it's really what creates your life.
Yep, I agree. I always mention it's the difference between starting your day on offense versus starting your day on defense. If you do that morning routine, instead of letting the day fly at you and dictate how the day is going to go, you really start off on the right foot. So over the last 15 years, I would assume you've changed your morning routine, not once, not twice, but several times. Why might you change your morning routine?
Well, so it doesn't get stagnant. It's like if you go to the gym and you're doing the same workouts, you're not stretching and you may be getting a little bit of benefit, but not a lot. And you're getting bored. One thing for me is I want to be out of my comfort zone. I want to be rewiring myself all the time. A great question I always ask myself is, am I programmed to achieve my goals? And whatever that answer is, that's how I implement my morning routine. So if the answer is yes, then I want to put my foot on the gas because now I have momentum working for me. And the answer is no, I've got to rewrite the program. And see, the program is dictating our life. So that's the real reason I'm always changing and altering my morning routines. And even if it's just a little bit, you can alter them with more intensity. You can alter them with changing them a little bit or changing them a lot. So it all depends on where I feel that I am with my programming. See, I never want to just be there. That's where I can drift. So I'm always looking to put the foot on the gas of where I can stretch and grow.
See, I think that's something that you do so well is you really go with the flow of what you're needing and you keep a very fluid schedule. You're very fluid when it comes to attacking your goals, flexible. We have some clients who are extremely rigid, right? Everything has to be done a certain way at a specific time. If it doesn't go this way, and why don't you talk about not being rigid, allowing yourself to go with the flow?
Well, rigidness doesn't, in my opinion, create a lot of fun. And I want my life to be fun. I want to enjoy it. I want to have joy. I want to really let things happen. When you're too rigid, you're forcing. And you have to understand your mind. I've talked about the mind so much in recent podcasts, but you have to understand it. Your subconscious mind is your power source and it can't be coerced. And I'm big on processes for this reason, but you want to be able to adjust. I call it adjusting your sails and adjusting your plan. So what I could have been at 2 weeks ago, things might have changed that I have to adjust. And so you always want to be flexible. And how you're flexible is really getting to know you. You have to know you so well. And that's where the evening routine, which I'm sure we'll get into, can really help. But as you become more aware of yourself and why you're doing the things, what your triggers are, then you're going to be able to adjust your sales on what direction you may need to go.
Yeah. And trusting that you know yourself well enough to know what to do. Arash, when it comes to your morning routine, do you do your morning routine on weekends? Do you do it when you're on trips? Like, is this something every single day, no matter what? Or is that flexible too?
Well, for me, I do it 5 days a week.
Okay.
I do it 5 days a week. And then I'm always doing something in the morning on the weekends or on trips, but it's not as laser focused. I've discovered I used to overcommit myself, and then I deflate myself. So I don't hold myself to that because I know I'm not going to do it on trips or on weekends. I have my kids and we have their activities, and I can tell you all these things. I just set myself up to win to my word. See, confidence is being congruent with your word. I don't want to lose my word to myself, because then I could create some sabotaging beliefs in myself. So I used to do the opposite, but now I do it 5 days a week.
I love that. Okay, so let's get into it. What is your morning routine?
So first thing I do with my morning routine is first thing out of bed is I'm thinking about what I want, no matter what. That's the first thing, because the biggest time you're connected to your subconscious mind is first thing in the morning and the last 5 minutes you go to sleep. First thing, right when you wake up. So the first thing I think about is my goal. And I affirm my goal before I ever leave my bed. And then I focus on gratitude, what I'm grateful for before I ever leave my bed, and I really get in the feeling of that. Now, I do gratitude a few times during my morning routine. That's the first. And I'm giving you what I'm doing right now. The second thing I do is I work out right away. And it may be just something, I don't consider it my main workout, but something to get myself moving. So I'll walk my dogs in the morning is what I do. And just to get exercise for 30 minutes. And then I come home right after I exercise. I auto-suggest my goal for 5 minutes. This is non-negotiable. I never change this part of my routine, auto-suggesting. And I'll auto-suggest my goal for 5 minutes with music, because I want to get emotionally involved with it. And for me, I'm listening to either AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, something that really gets me emotionally involved. And it's not even like I'm even hearing the words, but it brings my emotional state up, because I know the more emotionally involved I get in my goal, the more I'm rewiring my program. And I'll do it for 5 minutes. And then after that, I do I am statements. I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am powerful. I'm having an amazing day. Like, I will write out 10 to 20 statements, but I don't just write them out. I'll ask myself, why am I happy? And I want to get emotionally involved in it. See, the I ams are so important, because anything you put I am with, you dump it in your imagination. And once it's in your imagination, you're accepting that idea with your conscious mind. Well, your subconscious is accepting it. So, and then I go back into gratitude again. I always speak out my gratitude. I'll say, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for you as a business partner. Then I'll ask myself, why am I grateful? And I used to do gratitude. It was like checking a box. I'm grateful for my hair. I'm grateful for this. And I wanted to really get grateful. I wanted to fill my heart with gratitude. And as I started doing that, it removed scarcity from my heart. And that was an important lesson on feeling it. And then so right now I'm not doing a meditation. Sometimes I do. Right now, that's my morning routine. And then I'll listen right now to something that I'm working on. Let's say I want to stretch my discipline. I will listen to something on discipline or on Audible. I'll listen to something or read something. Like, I'm reading, the last part of my morning routine is right now I'm studying 5 paragraphs, and I read it 5 times throughout the day, but it starts in the morning, and that's my morning routine.
I love that. Okay, so a couple of things that you just said, but first, I would be remiss not to mention if you want to download a PDF version of a morning routine that we recommend, it's called Millionaire Mornings. Go to vosscoachingco.com. First thing you see is an opt-in box. Leave your name and your email address, and we will send you a PDF with a Millionaire Mornings guide. You can print it off, check the box every single morning to know that you're on the right track with your morning routine. Now, one of the things you just mentioned that I really love, and I still do this as well, but you mentioned affirmations, I am statements. And I think a lot of times whenever people first start doing affirmations or getting into this work, they think that they only have to do this until they reach their goal, and then they might be done with those. You mentioned, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am happy. You are those things, but you're still affirming them every single day. We talk about why.
Well, because we can get more healthy. We can get more happy, and I don't just say I am and just write them down. I mean, you have to do it, in my opinion, you have to do it in a certain way. I do them, I am happy, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I put a lot of intensity and energy in it because I want my mind to really know, like, I'm giving it a directive. So I'll never stop doing my morning routine. If you go to the real reason of what the morning routine is for me, my morning routine is to build my self-esteem. That's what it does. If you look at the whole gamut of the whole purpose of it is to build my awareness up, build my self-esteem, build more foundations in myself, and build more good feelings. That's what the morning is. Like, my family knows, like, during my morning routines, leave me alone. But I do it before they get up. The key in the morning is I'm up at 5 a.m. and I go outside. I love the outside. I'm always outside in my backyard. And I will be outside where I'm away from everything, where it's so quiet. And I don't want to be distracted. But that's the real reason morning routines really changed my life. I mean, it really, see, a lot of people will hear self-esteem. They go, oh, I've got a good self-esteem. Yeah. It can always get better. And we can never outperform our self-esteem. So we want to continue upgrading it. We want to upgrade our confidence. We want to upgrade our processes. Like, I never think I've got the perfect process. I may have the perfect based on the results I'm getting that I'm happy with, but I'm never satisfied. I want to upgrade those processes. I want to upgrade my disciplines. I want to upgrade my intensity. And why I do that is because as I get better, I can help our clients more. I can help my family more. I can help my whole reason for doing what we're doing, because we want to, I believe there's a spark in everyone, and too many people's spark is dim. And I want to light that spark. I want them to light themselves on fire with their goals. And how you do that is by building the discipline, and it starts with your morning routine.
I love that. Okay, so now I want to get into the evening routine, because I think quite a few people by this point have some sort of morning routine. I don't think I don't think anywhere near as many people, not even half, have an evening routine. So let's get into why an evening routine first, and then what is your evening routine?
Well, the evening routine, I think, is just as important as the morning routine, because the evening routine is really getting to know yourself of what you did during the day. And it's really observing, and it's planning for the next day. The evening routine is absolutely essential. My evening routine, I do it before I get tired. So I want to make sure it's not last thing before I go to sleep. It's literally, I'll come back an hour after I wind it down, and I'll ask myself these questions. Questions are so beautiful. Questions give us so many answers. But I'll ask myself, did I act like the person I wanted to become today? Did I act like that person? Did I behave like that person? What were my behaviors? Did I really lock into my attitude? Did I have the attitude of the person who would achieve my goal? Did I have the discipline of the person who would achieve my goal? Did I operate with the personal standard of the person who would achieve my goal? And a lot of times, like I'm not perfect. And here's the key of this routine. So let's say I had a bad attitude. Let's say for whatever reason, I was letting the outside control me, or I let somebody get under my skin. The first thing I do the next day is I focus on attitude. Or let's say I lack discipline one day. That next day, I put so much energy into that discipline where I lacked that day, where I did not behave in a certain way. And then I don't miss 2 days of it. See, the key is not missing 2 days. It's not that we're not going to fall. We're going to fall. We don't have to be perfect. Our intent needs to be perfect. But the evening routine keeps us from getting off base. It keeps us accountable so we don't drift too long. And when you start doing this, it is key. And then the last part of my evening routine, there's 2 more parts. The second part is I write out in the present tense my 3 to 6 goal achieving activities like I already achieved them for the next day. And you do it in the present tense because you give your subconscious mind 10 hours, 12 hours, depending on when you write it out, to work on them. And then the last 5 minutes before I go to sleep, when I'm drowsy, I feel like my goal is already achieved and I affirm my goal again, just like I did in the morning while I'm drifting off to sleep. Because now your conscious mind is out of the way. So your unconscious is accepting it right away. And that's my evening routine.
Okay, I love this. And is it always the same questions, or is it whatever questions you think you need that day?
Mine are always the same.
Always the same. Okay.
Now, always the same. When I remember I was having coffee one day with our great mentor, Bob Proctor. And he said, "What are you studying?" And I said, I created a certain level of awareness at this point, and I said, "I'm studying myself more than I am the material." And he said, "That's a good answer. Explain it to me. You tell me what you're doing." And I told him these processes I created. He goes, "It's brilliant." He says, "Now you're implementing." He goes, "So many people they'll read the books and they'll regurgitate the books, but they don't understand it because they don't implement it." So for me, it's always those questions, but I'm always thinking about my goal. Because I'll call you at night and I'll say, "I have this idea. I have a big idea for us to implement." Because I'm asking these questions, they activate ideas regarding the person I want to become. Too many people, they'll ask me, "Well, how do you become the person you want to become?" You've got to be obsessed with it. You have to have a magnificent obsession for your goal. So when I'm asking myself, I'm very honest. If I drop the ball, I will tell you I dropped the ball. I will tell me. And I won't be happy with it. I don't let it control me, but I know that's where I have to shift my thinking. So it creates an incredible amount of personal accountability. And accountability through both your morning and your evening routines it's a success insurance policy. I'm telling you this, burn that in your mind. Practice it for 30 days. You're going to do it for the next 30 years. If you really want to win big in life, I want to win big. I want to help more people. I think I'm not even close to where I'm going to be. And that's why I keep constantly never being satisfied, being grateful, but I want to up the bar. I want to see how far I can take this.
I love that you just said that success insurance policy, because I believe if you nail your morning routine and your evening routine, how you start your day, how you end your day, what happens in between falls into place so much easier, like almost effortlessly. If you can just nail how you start it, nail how you end it. Will you talk about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
No, I agree. Well, like I said, the morning routine, you do it for a week, watch your self-esteem. I'm telling you, watch how you feel about yourself. And then watch it when you're not checking a box. "Oh, I got to do this perfectly." You don't need to do anything perfectly. I never try to do one thing perfectly. I just go in and I want to be a dog. I want to come from that goal. That goal, it makes of you the person you want to become. Like, it literally demands of you to grow. So during your day, you're going to fail. You're going to succeed. You're going to plateau. You're going to have an amazing day. You're going to have an amazing idea. You're going to have an amazing meeting. But the more you stick with these processes, you are going to become one of the top 1%. I'm telling you this. And as long as you are not letting it be too rigid, and that goes back to your words, as long as you're not letting the outside control you. See, when you're rigid, you're checking a box. We want to get emotion. We want to get in the spirit of everything we're doing. We want to fall in love with our routines. We want to fall in love with the grind. I get people, Mikey, who come to me and they go, grind's a bad word. I said, to you it is. I love grinding. I know. I love the grind. I think the grind makes your character. I absolutely love grinding. And I love finding out my faults. I love finding out my weaknesses because that creates fuel for me to grow.
Arash, I love that you just said, I don't try to do anything perfectly. This is probably 10, 12 years ago. I remember Facebook's motto was done is better than perfect, because I think so often people are focused on doing it perfectly, so they do nothing. And it's not done is better than perfect is not doing it sloppy. It's doing it now. Do something right now, which is so important. Get into action. And just now you said, if you do your morning routine every day for 7 days, your self-confidence is going to skyrocket. I think that's probably an excellent action step for today. Obviously, this entire episode was action-based. It's giving you a morning routine and an evening routine, something you can implement every single day. Starting with 7 days on both of those would knock it out of the park. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the action step.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you watch it and do this for 7 days and steal my morning routine, try it. You'll see it for yourself. I've had so many. I mean, I've had thousands upon thousands of people tell me it changed their world. I remember I got a message a few years ago, and this gentleman was a professional hockey player, but he was in the minor leagues. And he said, the only thing I changed was your morning routine. He followed my morning routine and he got called up. And he said, he sent me such a nice message thanking me for it. And it works for anybody, anytime. If it works for one person, it'll work for anybody. But the key is doing it. The doing. I cannot stress more the doing. If you're sitting there and tomorrow you're like, I'm going to do it, but then you don't do it, you're not going to do it. Write out exactly how you're going to do your morning routine. Practice it for 7 days. Do your evening routine. Follow mine. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. And if you do that, you're going to see how great you're going to feel. And remember, our job is to feel good. When we feel good, we start activating wealth into our life.
I love it. And then I just want to add one last thing, which is, you know how even when you don't feel like working out, once you work out, you feel so much better. You feel great. I think the same is true with your morning and evening routine. Although now I've been doing a morning and evening routine for so long, I look forward to it. And same is true with working out. After a while, you look forward to it. You've created that discipline. But I just want you to touch on how it makes you feel good doing these things.
Well, it makes you feel good because we're here to be productive beings. Yeah. We're here. When we're more productive, we feel better. And it's not doing 1,000 things. Like if you look at my morning routines, there's just a few things that I'm talking about. It's doing a few things 10,000 times. And that's going to create a significant life for anybody. But, going back to the thing about being perfect, I don't believe you can be excellent being perfect because you're always trying to fine tune everything. I think perfection comes from being willing to fail. And I think perfection comes from getting out of your comfort zone. And let me give you an example of this. Let's say I say, I'm going to be perfect by getting out of my comfort zone today. I'm overthinking it. See, you don't try to get out of your comfort zone. You lean in, kind of like our last episode when we were talking about building a bigger idea. So to me, perfection comes with failing. Perfection comes with succeeding. Perfection comes with grinding. Perfection comes with effortless success. Everything is what creates the perfection is really how we're living. And how are we living and how do you want to live?
So good. Arash, this has been an incredible episode. Thank you so much. I can't wait to hear all of your feedback once you've implemented your new morning and evening routine. One last time, I'm going to let you know that if you want to download a PDF version of our Millionaire Mornings PDF, you can go to vosscoachingco.com. You'll see it right there on the homepage. You can download it, print it out, do whatever you want with it. Now, go ahead and leave us a rating and a review, subscribe and share our podcast. We would be so grateful. We'll see you next week for another episode. But for now, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 7 Figure Standard. We hope you found the insights and strategies helpful on your journey to success. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform to help us reach more people like you. To learn more about Arash and Mikey and how Voss Coach & Co. can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success, visit vosscoachandco.com. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of 7 Figure Standard.